The cognitive dissonance theory was originally proposed by Leon Festinger in 1957. Cognitive dissonance is defined as the distressing mental state caused by inconsistency between a person's two beliefs or a belief and an action. One example that is often used to explain cognitive dissonance is the situation of a smoker. Smokers are constantly at war with their beliefs and actions. They know that cigarettes are bad for their health, yet they still smoke. This can often cause mental tension for them. The cognitive dissonance theory has three hypotheses. The first hypothesis is that selective exposure prevents dissonance. Selective exposure is defined as the tendency people have to avoid information that would create cognitive dissonance because it's incompatible with their current beliefs. For example, a smoker is likely to avoid information about how dangerous smoking is and will often look for companionship among other smokers in order to avoid dissonance. Three common ways to get around selective exposure are entertainment such as movies, humor, and warm personal relationships. The second hypothesis states that post-decision dissonance creates a need for reassurance. Post-decision dissonance is defined as strong doubts experienced after making an important close call decision that is difficult to reverse. An example of this would be a smoker talking to another smoker or reading something that is pro-smoking in order to support their decision to smoke. The third and final hypothesis of the cognitive dissonance theory states that minimal justification for action induces attitude change. The minimal justification hypothesis is a claim that the best way to stimulate an attitude change in others is to offer just enough incentive to elicit counter-attitudinal behavior. Previous to this theory, it was believed that if you changed a person's attitude, a change in their behavior would result. But the cognitive dissonance theory has taught us that it is more effective to try and change a person's behavior first, which will lead to a change in their attitude later. Would you lie for $1? Festinger conducted an experiment called the $1, $20 experiment. Test subjects were asked to partake in very boring and tiring procedures. The subjects were then asked to lie to the next participant and tell them that the experiment was quite fun. Half were bribed with $1 and the other half with $20. The subjects who received $20 later admitted that they truly believed the experiment was boring, but that the $20 was enough to justify lying. But the subjects who received only $1 incentive later said that the experiment really wasn't that bad and was actually kind of enjoyable. This change in attitude occurred as a result of dissonance. The participants did not feel that the $1 was enough to justify lying, so they changed their beliefs in order to make it not a lie. So, if you want to persuade a change in someone, start with a small incentive to change their behavior, and the rest will follow. Cognitive dissonance is not only among smokers. Everyone experiences it for different reasons. Even though cognitive dissonance theory was proposed way back in the 1950s, it is still highly discussed, studied, and relevant today.